So right now I want to talk to you about something very interesting. I had written an idea into my notepad and I couldn't really explain it, and in the end I decided not to make a video about it since I couldn't explain it. But then I saw a video from Hamza and he literally explained the same or the exact thing that I had written down, except he actually managed to describe it in the way how I couldn't at the time. And so now I am actually able to explain it. If you want, you can check out his video later on after you finish this one. And it's basically that, but I will talk about it from a different perspective, in a sense that everyone talks about how you should have your purpose, how you should have your mission, but it's not really something you can find so easily. It's something that you literally have to religiously try to find, through different methods. And I have actually tried that and it didn't work out for me. And so instead of trying to find my purpose, I decided to go with something completely different. What if I, instead of finding a purpose of, helping young men go through difficulties, or helping my family with financial problems, or helping my family to retire much earlier, in terms of me making enough money in order to support my whole family, and purpose related stuff like that. So and it didn't really work for me. I tried many different kinds of ideas for my purpose, what could be possibly my purpose, and I tried thinking of grinding in order to support my future family, or in order to support my current family that I have right now, and it didn't really drive me to do anything. Basically, it didn't evoke any certain emotional reaction which you would want your purpose to evoke. And so I gave up eventually, and I decided to look at it from a different view. And the notes, or the idea which I talked about at the beginning, I've actually wrote it down, 2 months or maybe even 4 months ago. And Hamza made a video about it, this week maybe, or the week before. And it's really interesting because the point which I want to make, so I won't drag it for any longer, is that your mission doesn't have to be anything grand, like helping young men, helping or trying to change a certain industry. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It can be something super simple, and it could even be the specific type of activities which could be your mission or something that you want to focus on. And so for me it's to just be disciplined, to work hard on everything related to self-improvement, anything related to my business and so on, and just work hard on that, and work hard on literally just improving my whole life in general. And that's my mission right now. Of course, purpose and mission is something that will change eventually, because it's we constantly grow, we constantly change, and whenever we go through a certain change, we will eventually change our main goal or our main purpose. And so it might change eventually, but right now for me, my purpose is to just be disciplined. And the actual fun is the discipline itself, doing the hard things even when you might not feel like it, or you aren't motivated to do them. Because when you think about it, all the fun habits that we do all the time, video games, watching entertainment videos on YouTube and stuff like that, and it could be even related to food, and so junk food and whatnot. And what I'm trying to say is that those fun activities which we think are fun aren't actually fun. They are just actually what I mean by those fun habits are basically instant gratification habits, which means that they feel awesome or maybe great right now at the moment, or at the time of you doing that activity, but afterwards you actually feel much worse. You feel worse about yourself, you lose respect for yourself. And when you do the other types of activities which are more long-term oriented, So instead of like it being instant gratification, it's actually delayed gratification. So it's basically like you are working on something that will eventually bring you, or that you are doing something that will literally help your future self in some kind of way. That's what delayed gratification means. You are doing an activity which will in turn like help your future self with like his growth, with his financial stability and stuff like that. And so in terms of what I'm actually trying to say, because I always talk about something different and I don't stick to the main topic of the video, is basically that instead of trying to find a grand purpose which might eventually come to you, like you might realize it later on, but it's not really something you can just find through different like methods, like asking yourself certain questions or going through like questionnaire, which it could help you, but I don't think it's like the right way to go about it, because you will maybe just find like something that feels like purpose, but it's actually not. It's like something that feels awesome right now when you think about it, but after like 1 month of you trying to achieve that purpose or working towards that purpose or on that purpose, you will realize that it's not actually like your mission. It's just like that feeling which you got on that moment of realizing that it could be your mission, your purpose, but after a while of trying to reach that purpose or working on it, you'll realize that it's actually not. And so probably the best way how to find it is to not try to find it, is to just go about your life, try to live as best as you can, and whilst you do that, you might eventually realize what your purpose might be. But I don't think it's something you can find just like that through different methods. So don't try to find it like I mentioned. Instead, try to find something that's not so grand, something much simpler, like I have found, that just working on those delayed gratification habits and activities which will bring me like success, or will literally build up the foundation of a great life for my future self. And what's funny is that even though they are delayed gratification, so it's something that will, like when you think about it, bring you happiness later on, it's actually something that will bring you happiness at the moment as well, because you feel great about yourself that you are doing the right thing. And so in that sense, maybe try to have something like your mission, just your discipline. Just try to be as disciplined as possible, try to be as productive as possible. Of course, don't be stupid about it, like what will you remember about your life when you will be on your deathbed? Just working every day 24/7, working on your business, for instance. I don't think those memories will be anything you will be fond of at the time of you being on the deathbed. And so, of course, enjoy your life, but enjoyment doesn't mean that you will do instant gratification habits. And so, just to summarize the points which I wanted to make in this video, is that even if you don't have like a grand mission, a grand purpose, go with something that's much more simple, and you can always like just decide basically that this is what I'm going to work on, this is going to be my purpose. Like for me it was like I decided that I had a strong burnout and I wanted to get back on the grind, and so I just basically decided, or I switched something in my brain, and I started thinking that this is my mission, like working on my YouTube channels is my mission, my purpose, even though it's nothing grand. It's not really like my purpose is directly helping people. My purpose is creating videos which in turn can help people, and so it's nothing grand. But you might feel like, yeah, I can do that, I have even tried it maybe, but it doesn't really feel like my purpose. And that's the same thing for me. It actually took me a while, but I always reminding myself of like, this is my purpose, even though I had to force myself to think like that. I literally, every time I wanted to slack off or I was afraid to do something, I said to myself, I've got my mission, I have my purpose, even though it didn't really feel like it. I was always saying that to myself, and eventually, or actually right now, it really does feel like something that I'm working towards, and it does feel like something fulfilling, at least much more than it was before. And so that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. And so if you don't have your purpose, just think of developing yourself in general as your mission. Or it can be maybe even something much more simple, so like building an aesthetic physique, or it could be improving your social skills, improving your speaking skills, and stuff like that. You can be creative about it, you can try different ones. If one doesn't work for you, then just continue. And eventually, like, what is life about? It's technically just about us trying to live the best as we can, and basically to not waste our lives just because, I don't know, we went through some kind of a hardship or something like that, and we just gave up on life. Like, hardship and suffering is part of life, and it's something that we have to deal with, we have to accept it, and try to live as best as we can, even though those things can happen. But don't forget that good things happen as well, and just try to live as best as you can. I will leave you with this last idea, and hopefully this video was valuable. Hopefully I didn't go off track too much, and hopefully it was understandable. If you have any questions, you can comment them down below, or if you want to add something. And if you want, you can watch this video next.